I'm Kristen Joe.
And I'm Cameron Word.
Hope you all had a great weekend.
Yes.
Were you able to catch that movie on the weekend?
I did.
You did?
It was pretty amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you see?
I went and saw Gladiator.
Oh,
The second one.
Yeah. I think I might have to watch that twice or 3 times. When I like a movie, I do like to actually watch it again on occasion.
Yeah, you watch it the first time. What I like to do if I'm going to watch a movie a second time.
Yeah.
Watch it the first time, then read everything on the internet that I missed. All the clues, all the extra, what we call Easter eggs, those little extra things they put into the movie.
Okay.
And then I watch it again. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what they said.
That's what they said. So it seems Gladiator and Wicked are really big movies in the States right now.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen any of those movies, maybe you might want to check it out. Okay, so we are talking about kimchi, which has nothing to do with movies.
It doesn't. Maybe you can eat kimchi while you're watching a movie, or maybe while you're doing kimjang, you watch a movie.
You watch a movie. Yeah, that's right. Today it's kimchi season. That was more work than I thought. 생각보다 일이 많았어. Right? More work than I thought. That was more than I thought. Okay, of course, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because the the cleanup is a whole day.
That's true. Yeah, all that the sauce, the
the sun, and then like cleaning up everything, and then washing. It's like really half a day. So it's quite the production. All right. Now, here are some expressions that we're going to learn. A little goes a long way. I like this.
A little goes a long way is an expression that means you only need a small amount. And often a smaller amount than you think. Don't put a lot in. It'll ruin it if you put too much.
Right. How about step by step?
Step by step means that you're doing a process in like a specific order. You're following the instructions one at a time.
So step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yes.
Okay. Last one. If it stands the test of time.
This means that it lasts a long time and it's proven to be good or proven to be useful.
Okay, very good. We've got some great expressions for you on this Monday morning. Let's go ahead and listen to our dialogue.
Wow, that was more work than I thought. I noticed you didn't use a lot of ginger or fish sauce.
Those flavors are really strong, so a little goes a long way.
I wrote down step-by-step instructions, so I can make it myself next time.
If you use that exact recipe, you'll never be disappointed. It's the same way my great-grandmother made it.
So you could say it's stood the test of time.
Just don't tell anyone I gave you my secret family recipe. Okay, it's kimchi season. That was more work than I thought. We're on page 128. That's where the power dialogue is. Tim says, whew, wow, that was more work than I thought. I noticed you didn't use a lot of ginger or fish sauce. Okay? 생강, 멸치액, not as much.
Yes.
And Alice says, those flavors are really strong, so a little goes a long way. Okay. A little goes a long way.
Right. So a little goes a long way means you do not need to use a lot. You only need a small amount. Because Alice believes the fish sauce and the ginger, they're so strong. If you put too much, it will ruin the recipe. You know? Kind of like salt, even. If you look at how much salt you put into a dish, when you're a first-time cook, you always put too much salt,
right? Of
right?
course, because you're afraid that it's not going to have enough flavor.
Right. But then you realize, oh my gosh, I made it too salty.
Yeah. And so a little goes a long way just means that all you need is just a little bit, and it will go the long way. What does that mean?
So to go a long way means that it will be very effective.
Yes.
It will give you a lot of whatever result you need.
Right. It has a big impact.
Yes.
Yeah. And my mom, too. My mom's secret to making good kimchi is there are a lot of people who put a ton of garlic
Oh, yeah.
in the kimchi.
Uh-huh.
But my mom is like, oh, no. You don't want to overpower. And
Are you sure?
Yeah. No.
I don't know if there's such thing as too much garlic.
I know, but I understand. Like, yes, we will put garlic, but not overdo it with the garlic and not overdo it with the ginger. It becomes too powerful.
I could eat both raw. Like, I could just, pull the ginger out of the ground and eat it like a carrot. I
love ginger.
Yeah.
What's good for you?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, so what does Tim say?
I wrote down step-by-step instructions so I can make it myself next time.
Okay, so if you write down step-by-step instructions, what kind of instructions are you writing?
They are detailed instructions on the process. So it's not like it's just kind of like, it's very clear each step that you have to do in these instructions.
Yeah, so I feel like a step-by-step instruction is like step number 1, okay?
Open the package.
Okay.
Number 2, take item out of package.
Number 3, yes.
Throw away the plastic package. It's just getting very detailed, so there is no question about what you're supposed to do.
Right, that's right. It's not like 대충, you know, like just kind of wash it. It's telling you exactly how to do it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Alice says, if you use that exact recipe, you'll never be disappointed. It's the same way my grandmother made it. Okay. So if you use that exact recipe, but I do feel that Korean recipes sometimes are not so exact.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of a little bit of this, a lot of this.
Yeah. They always say, oh, it's a sonmat. You know, what is that? So I discovered that really with Korean food, the more you make it, you just get better at it.
It is true. I mean, cooking in general is definitely something you just have to have experience, and you slowly learn over time.
Okay. So what does Tim say?
So you could say it's stood the test of time.
Okay. So Tim is commenting on what Alice had just said. Alice just said. She said, yeah, my great-grandmother, this recipe, it's like, it will never disappoint. It's always good. Okay? So Tim says, so you could say this.
Yes.
So what is this could?
So you could say is a way of saying that you are going to summarize or try to change the way that someone has expressed something. And by this, I mean, so Alice talks about how her great-grandmother had this recipe. And so he is going to take that idea, he's going to take that fact, and he's going to change it into a lesson, change it into another, maybe even a joke phrase. And in this kind of way that he is saying it is stood the test of time. So, your grandmother used it, and your mother used it, and you used it. So what you're saying is, so you could say that this is like a very good recipe.
Yeah. So when something stands the test of time, what is it saying?
It's saying it has lasted a long time because it is good or it is useful.
Right. And that stand, it's almost like it withstood, it endured all this time passing.
Right. Think of like a house that is there and it's constantly being hit by rain and wind, but it didn't fall down.
That's right.
That house has stood the test of time.
That's it.
It is not going anywhere because it was built correctly with good materials.
Very good. That's the idea. And Alice says, just don't tell anyone I gave you my secret family recipe. Okay, so this is kind of a shh. Family recipe. So what is this family recipe?
A family recipe is a recipe that is in the family. It is not a common recipe. Only this family does it. And I think it's great for kimchi because many families have their own way of making it, right?
Right, totally.
You can't go to the bookstore and look in a recipe book and find that recipe. It is only known by the family members.
Yes, that's right. So family recipes, we all have them. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to that dialogue one more time.
Wow, that was more work than I thought. I noticed you didn't use a lot of ginger or fish sauce.
Those flavors are really strong, so a little goes a long way.
I wrote down step-by-step instructions, so I can make it myself next time.
If you use that exact recipe, you'll never be disappointed. It's the same way my great-grandmother made it.
So, you could say it's stood the test of time.
Just don't tell anyone I gave you my secret family recipe. It's time for Power Note. We're on pages 130 and 131. A little goes a long way is that a little bit of something, a small amount of something is only necessary.
Yes.
To have, usually, a big impact.
Yes.
Okay, to bring good results. Okay. The waitress gave us free dessert, and all you did was say how good the service was.
When it comes to flattery, a little goes a long way.
Yeah.
So they didn't do much.
Yeah.
But that small amount, that free dessert was so impressive.
Yeah. Well, and what they said, only like, oh, the service is great here. That's all they said.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you some free dessert. Okay. Not too much salt. A little goes a long way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is basically a way of saying don't do too much, right? This is often used with food. I would say mostly. I have heard it used with things like makeup.
Makeup.
Have you, on social media, there was this thing where boyfriends or husbands were doing the girlfriend or wife's makeup.
Oh, really?
But guys don't do makeup that often.
Right.
So they were like taking the blush and just like throwing it on her face. Like she's like, yeah, like, you know, when you do makeup too heavy, it looks really, that's a point where like a little goes a long way.
Yeah.
When you're like putting on makeup.
Right. And I feel like not only that, but kindness or saying something nice, a compliment, I feel personally goes a long way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So both of the meaning's the same, but it can be used in two different ways. One is a warning. Don't do too much, right? With the salt.
Yeah.
A little goes a long way.
Yeah.
Don't put too much salt.
Right.
But in the other way, with kindness, you're saying, hey, you don't have to do something big.
Yeah.
Even something small will have a big effect.
Very nice.
So that is encouraging you to do.
That's right.
More,
That's
but,
right.
yeah.
Right. Very good. So it can go both ways. One is like, hey, wait a second.
Stop.
Not too much. Stop. Okay, just a little. All you need is a little. But the other one is like, all you have to do is just a little bit, and it will have a big effect.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Step by step is a kind of logical, very detailed instruction.
Yes.
Okay. This book gives you step-by-step instructions for making $1 million fast.
I hope you didn't pay for that. That's kind of true. Step 1, become a lawyer. Step 2, charge $1 million. Like those types of step-by-step instructions to become a millionaire.
Yeah.
Those types of things.
You see that a lot on social media with these sort of accounts, and they're like, okay, you know, you could retire at 40 and you got to do this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know. Okay. The science teacher gave the students step-by-step instructions for the experiment.
Yeah, if you're in a science class, it's often there's a list of things you've got to do.
Yeah.
And you have to do them in the right order, or you could cause an explosion.
So, Cameron, I see in all of these examples that it goes with instructions,
Yes.
step-by-step instructions. Is there another case where you would use it without instruction?
You could use words like plan.
Okay. All right.
A step-by-step plan. Right?
Step-by-step strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's usually something that would have that list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A process that the order has to stay the same.
Yes.
So even if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if the order can be changed, you can't really use step by step.
Got it.
So for example, like a shopping list, it's not step by step. Because you can get eggs first or you can get milk first.
Right.
The order doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right?
So logical order is very important when using this expression. Okay. And you just mentioned process.
Yes.
And I feel like, you know, it's a step-by-step process can be used in that context as well. Like that process has some sort of logical order. You
Yes.
just don't go through it all at once. There's
Right.
like a step-by-step thing.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, stand the test of time means to last for a long time. Maybe despite, bad things, in the environment. Okay. The Arabic numbers we use today have been around since 500 AD.
Wow, they've really stood the test of time.
Yeah. Despite all of the hundreds and hundreds of years, it is still here.
Yeah.
It has stood the test of time. There are very few philosophies that will stand the test of time.
Yes, very few. If you think of like Aristotle, Pythagoras, those people, they have ideas, and some of them have lasted, but
Yes.
not all of them.
Not all of
It's
them.
only the things that have lasted for a very long time that you can say have stood the test of time.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe there is a certain business model that a CEO is very famous for. Like, he's one of the best CEOs, in these big corporations. And there's a certain way of doing business. And it's his way. And it has stood the test of time, meaning it has worked
Right.
despite, all the changes in the economy.
Right. And if it's a business, in that case, it would have to be at least, 20, 30 years.
I think so. Yeah.
If
Right,
he's only done it for 10 years,
Right.
has that really stood the test of time? We
Right.
haven't had a long time to judge.
Yeah, that's a good point, because there needs to be a certain amount of time that passes.
Yes.
It just can't be like 5 or 10 years. Okay, our power pattern today is so you could say.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So you often use this when you're making a summary of something that you've heard, or you're trying to change the way people are looking at a situation or fact. You're changing the perspective, the viewpoint.
The viewpoint. Okay, how about this? So you could say that his motive was strictly financial.
Yeah, he just wanted to make a lot of money.
Okay.
So you could say his artworks reflect how he feels about his life. Right. So all of his artwork is inspired by events in his life. So you could say that his artwork is saying how he feels.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this conclusion that you've come to.
Yes.
A summary. Okay, power vocabulary is family recipe. This is a recipe that stays in the family, and it just is handed down. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if my son is going to make my kimchi when he gets older.
Well, did he help with Kim Jong this year? Is he helping with Kim Jong this year?
Well, you know what he does help me with?
What?
The tasting of the sauce. Yeah.
So he'll know the flavor.
It needs a little bit more egg jut. He does that. Yeah. All right. Make sure you stop by Audio Ohakdang and subscribe for a monthly fee.
Yes.
That's it for today. Please join us on our live show evening special. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.